down at the Galveston Esports Summit, live from our booth. We actually just finished doing a panel on keeping esports teams on track. We had a really good time doing that. But I've got a really big announcement for Aura Fury, and though the admins and such have known this for a while, we haven't been able to share it with all of you, and we thought, this is kind of a good time to share it with all of you. We have a brand new partner and a new program that we're launching with the Aura Fury nonprofit, Brazos Sport College. So we will be helping them start a gaming club and possibly even future their esports team. And kind of the vision for this particular project is that we're going to start partnering with lots of different community colleges around Texas for now, but if we have some else from out of state that reach out to this, that'd be awesome, because the more the merrier at this point. But there's quite a few small community colleges and even private universities and such out there that they don't have access to a whole bunch of people to play in the gaming club. So up at the Panhandle of Texas, I talked to some smaller community colleges out there a few weeks ago, and they were talking about how their gaming club only has 2 or 3 students. So it's very limiting on what they can do, what they can play. They can't really start a whole lot of teams and things like that. So we're basically going to be that connection where you can join Aura Fury and join in with the network of all these other community colleges, and then you can make your teams because you got your other people to play with, or you can join other servers and you can play with that. And we can help with gamification for classes too. There's an awesome game called Eco out there that's really good for economics and business courses, but you need a lot of people for it to work out and be a really good lesson. So what better way than to have a server that's made up with a whole bunch of different college and university students from around the country and maybe even the world, and then we can throw in some people too that are from around the world, so that they start talking with people from the UK and Japan, South Korea, Germany, and so on. So really, really cool experience. It's opportunity that's been coming up for colleges as well as students. And with me here today, of course, is our esports director and board member, Justin Hill, and I am your president of Aura Fury, Jacob Ray, also known as Econ Brony, and we're really excited to be here with you today.
Yeah, I think it's interesting and it's important to highlight the fact that although even if you're not in Texas or you're even not in like any collegiate scene, I think a connection like this is kind of, like you mentioned, a nice bridge between the current kind of space we're in, which is just kind of its own solo community with a great community at that, but often its own space. And then this is a cool connection for not only us at the top or people in like Texas, but everyone, like you said earlier, a connection into Eco as a game. But not only that, as in there's more people in the server, more opportunity for you to play different games, because I know right now we're kind of spread thin. It's some people want to play X game, some people want to play Y game, and it'll be nice to have more bodies in the server that are actively engaging.
Yep. And what's even cooler is we're gonna be partnering with some other nonprofits here pretty soon, and in the hope that we can actually bridge the gap between moving from high school into the college, so that you have basically a smooth transition of going from your clubs in high school and gaming and then going into college. And then with this kind of large network of clubs together, your friend may have gone to a different college or university, but then you can still come together in this particular club. So it's really an exciting opportunity. And speaking of exciting opportunities, we actually have Johnny from the Galveston Esports Summit here, and he's actually going to tell us a little bit about this awesome convention that we're at today.
Hey guys, it's me, Johnny's here. So we're on our last day of the Galveston Island Esports Summit. We've had 3 days of fun and video games and virtual reality and demoing your game and having people come up and play it, which I think is really awesome. There's so many aspects about this convention I love, but one of my favorite things is to give people the opportunity to meet developers like you and educators such as yourself so they can ask questions, and the business to business aspect. Like you got to meet Patrick at one of our first events, which kind of inspired you to the path that you're on to be able to help more people now, which is, I just love that. I love that. So.
A question I want to ask, if you have a moment, is I think a lot of people that are watching, and even myself, are interested in what kind of drove you to try to attempt something like this, and how do you get to a place where you can host an event like this and have it turn out so well?
That is a great question. So what inspired me to start this was being a gamer myself. And I had this idea of creating something that was purely based about video games that could bring us all together and give us all a place to nerd out together. And it's the camaraderie of it all, right? I wanted to bring all the gamers together in one place to have all kinds of awesome stuff to do. So that was my number one reason for creating the Galveston Island Esports Summit. And then, an advice I would give someone if they wanted to start an esports event.
Or maybe even advice, maybe not as much starting it because that might be a little niche, but kind of like a reason to go, because I know a lot of people, especially in our community, they're kind of tied to their computers and a little bit more shy about going out in public.
Absolutely.
What is some incentive for them to come out to something like this?
Well, to meet people such as yourself who, also is the same person as they are, and coming out and connecting with people and the camaraderie of it all, connecting with gamers that are just like yourself that love to play video games. I love StarCraft, which is an old game, right? But I religiously play StarCraft all the time. It's one of my favorite games. I love those kind of unit building games and things like that. Heroes of the Storm, so I wanted to create something where people have a love and a passion for something, could come and share that love and passion with other people and just geek out all together. I loved it. I'm a huge nerd and a huge gamer myself, so that was my whole thing.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that. I think a lot of what you're saying is the camaraderie is what we're hitting on, and I think that point needs to be highlighted, is that everyone here, I think, as opposed to a lot of maybe just like non-gaming related conventions, you might feel a little alienated by kind of the demographic that it might pull in. You might feel alone in this larger group of people, but I've never felt that here. I think everyone here is on the same page, that we're all here to have fun. We all have this background in gaming and just wanting to connect with each other. And although some people may come through the doors right here, we see it all the time, a little shy and nervous, but by the time they've done a full lap, they're always leaving with a smile on their face, so they're coming around for a second one to ask more questions, which is really nice.
There's a lot of shy people, but sometimes you can feel a little overwhelmed. There's like a little bit of pressure that might go along with, hey, what is this event going to be about? What am I going to have to do? But like you said, people walk in the door and they're like, oh wow, okay, there's a lot happening here and a lot to see, and then they end up getting in one of the battle pods with a friend, and then they're like, then it's on after that, right? They're just ready to game and ready to go and kind of break the ice and jump right into it. So creating this environment where you can come, whether you're a hardcore gamer or, one of the things I wanted to make sure is that this wasn't just all about competitive gaming, right? It's not all about esports tournaments. I wanted to make sure we had virtual reality, new games, and things like that. And I also wanted to create something where you bought your pass and you come in and you don't have to pay to play all these different things. I wanted there to be a built-in value to the ticket, right? I didn't want them to buy a ticket and then have to come in and pay for all these games to play. I always want everything to be on free play, right?
Right.
I want there to be an amazing experience, an amazing gaming experience for everybody to come here, not to nickel and dime everybody, right? And one of the things I love about the Galveston Island Convention Center, other than it being right on the beach and the glass all up front seeing out to the water, is that there's free parking here. So unlike events to maybe be like in downtown or Houston or things like that, you have to pay to park, pay to get in, and then pay to also get in there. We wanted to make a better environment per se for my fellow gamers, people like us to all get together.
I think that's really admirable. I've noticed that from doing my own laps around here, that it's been really nice that you can kind of just walk up to your booth and just interact with everybody within the space. And if you just want to play a game, as long as there's no line and you aren't shoving people out of the way to get in there, everyone here is welcoming you to go play a game. And like you said, there's nobody sitting there waiting to take your money. It's all in that pass, which is really nice that it's kind of a one-size-fits-all for whatever you need this space to be. If you're here for the Star Wars booth in the corner, you can go straight to that and interact with them and watch the displays they're putting on. Or if you're just here to play with your friends, I've seen groups of 3 or 4 people that go around and try all the booths for the retro games or for Smash Bros or anything like that, and they just do all those and have a great time while they're here. And then the same thing goes for us, where we're a vendor and we've had a lot of fun just being here, interacting with other nonprofits or other booths that have something to offer us, and we have something to offer them, and we can open up that dialogue.
Yeah, I set it up for we say one pass, play all day, right? You buy your pass, you come in, everything's on free play, and I'm already planning for 2024 Esports Summit, and I'm excited. I can't share it yet, but we're going to make some great new additions and some changes to make this event even better, and bringing in some really huge companies for people to interact with and learn from. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for 2024. We're not even finished with the last day of this event for 2023, and I'm already ready and planning for 2024. So
I can definitely appreciate that, and I think it's really important, something that we talked about in the panels we just ended, which we'll link down there, and we'll link all of your socials and information there, and then anything they can find about the summit. But I think it's really cool to want to learn from, like you were talking about, other people's mistakes, or even if it's not mistakes, just past experiences, and build upon them and have room for change. So it's really exciting to hear you talk about next year, even though we're not even done with the convention yet. You're already excited to, all right, here's all the things I did this time, here's something I want to do more of, here's something I want to change my approach on how I'm doing it, all to make the experience more fun for everybody and have this place of inclusion and just a good time.
And I love that we partner with organizations like yourself and Women in Gaming at Wiggy that highlights and focuses on females in STEM education and females in gaming, because let's be honest, we need more female game developers, we need more female streamers,
we do.
We need more female astronauts, more female STEM educators. So we try to do everything we can to promote that as well, because we need more girls in gaming. And one of the girls that was here in the tournament that won was here last year and beat the boys, and then she came and beat them again. So
I didn't know that lore. That's great.
The one I did that live video with about beating all the guys and high five. She's like, yeah, that was me 2 years ago, and I was like, well, welcome back, and I'm so glad you came and kicked their butts again. So,
that's our MVP. All right, the reigning champ.
I love to see that, and
it's so great.
We have some beautiful trophies we give out and all that stuff. So it makes me really, really happy to see the girls come in here and kick the boys' butts. So that's personally my thing. So.
That's such a great story. I love that.
I love it.
We were talking about it on the car ride home, that exact point of her winning, but it's so great to see people coming back and wanting to participate again and having such a great time.
Yeah, it sounds like the Star Wars lightsaber walk is about to start.
That should be exciting.
Yeah. Awesome. So there's so many aspects of this convention. You can check us out, GalvestonEsports.com. I highly suggest going there and liking our Facebook and social media pages so that you can see all these new awesome things that we're going to be adding and things we're going to be changing and what's to come next year.
Awesome. We'll also be sure to post a lot of the information that we're getting from that over in the server too, so everybody can stay involved, and if anybody can somehow make it out next year, then awesome. If not, we'll keep you updated online and show you galleries of what we've been doing here, pictures, videos, all the socials of everybody here as well, so that everybody can get involved if they feel so inclined.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, Aura Fury, for being here, letting people demo the game, and it's been a great weekend. So thank you guys so much for being
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me join you. Thank you so much. And let's go play some games and y'all have some fun. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for joining us and sharing with us what Galveston Esports Summit's about.
Thank you.
We loved hearing about it. We've had a really good time so far at the summit, and we've made some great connections, and we already plan on being here again next year. So you can go ahead and once those dates get released, you can start planning on trying to get out here and enjoying the time with us. And we're excited to see all the new events and things that are going to be coming too, because we're just hearing about this now. So you got some, look into the future that even though we're right here, we didn't even know yet.
Now some hot news, definitely. I would say, especially if this is something that interests you, from experience myself as someone who's a part of this community and others, if you're interested in going out to conventions that aren't necessarily in your area, get that planning started as soon as possible. I'm sure there's other members of the community that feel the same as you, and if you can coordinate travel plans and hotel reservations together, you can keep those costs down that are so intimidating. And I think a lot of people here are going to be willing to talk to you about it and either give advice on where they go to get their prices, or maybe just room together or room in a similar package so that you can get cheaper deals at hotels and stuff like that. So stay vocal and stay active, and this will all happen for you.
And we're really excited to also mention that we will be involved in kind of doing more next time too, and we're going to be involved with doing things with Galveston Esports Summit actually throughout the year. So we'll be doing things that show up on the Facebook, we'll be doing some videos, we've already got some good podcasts planned, and in fact we actually have some other partnerships that have come about from the last expo that we're going to be really, really happy to start bringing those people on. We're going to have some people talking about game development, programming, careers in the industry and things like that. So we've made a lot of awesome connections between the Houston Gaming Expo and now the Galveston Esports Summit. So lots of exciting things to come, so make sure you stay with us.
To roll that excitement into a new topic, we can go back to the Galveston Esports Summit. We're here, so we can keep talking about it later, but something I wanted to bring up now, and something that I'm personally proud of, is the advancement and creation of our own Aura Fury Overwatch esports team. I know we've had them before in the past, so that might not sound like new news to everybody, but we're specifically honing in on one group of people. They're in the server. I won't drop them without asking them first, but if you ever, on a Tuesday night, ever want to come watch us play, we do scrim every Tuesday. We're looking to get into a league here soon. I'll post more information about that publicly when we get there. But everybody's doing a really good job. We came in at a low expectation of what we wanted to accomplish, kind of just like another game night rather, because I know Overwatch is a big enough game in the community that we had a group of people that were more interested in the extra competitive side of it that was kind of at odds with our normal Wednesday night Overwatch, where we just go in, have fun, and which has been doing really well. Shout out to that as well. We've had, there was a day, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, where we had almost 2 full stacks of people in, and we even ran into each other. I want to get that VOD footage if we can from the players, but we had both of our teams of 5 in the server meet up with each other online, and it was a blast. We had a great time messing with each other and getting all engaged in the game. But the esports team itself has been really cool, and I'm excited personally about it and see where it goes. And these are a lot of people that have put in effort into the Overwatch side of the community, which, aside from Vintage Story, I feel like is a really fun and inclusive side of the community that doesn't always get as much engagement I think I could, and I'm going to do better about trying to grow and let that foster. And I think this is the first step I'm taking to make sure this team takes off and that the Overwatch side of the community takes off, because the game has been getting really fun ever since Overwatch 2, and I know you've helped out, and everybody in the board has done their effort with keeping us engaged and offering to lend a hand. And I encourage everyone here who's interested to come and check us out. We'll probably be recording as well a lot of our games when we get into the leagues, and we will put that up for everybody to watch. So even if your interest in Overwatch isn't necessarily playing and interacting with the content directly, if you just want to support the team, you can. Just like everybody's, who's watching this now is supporting us. Maybe they weren't able to come out to Galveston, but they're still interested in what we're up to. So I'm excited and interested to hear what you get perspective of this from a less hands-on than the last time we did this wave of esports teams.
So I've been able to go and watch some of the scrimmages, which has been a lot of fun, and there's so much cohesiveness is going on with this team. There's so much development because some of these players have been around for a long time, even played on some of the previous esports team, and the amount of improvement that we've seen in such a short amount of time coming around this is just awesome. I am so excited to see where this team ends up going. I know you're starting to talk about looking at leagues and things now, so I'm sure we're going to be posting lots of information about when those games come up, so you actually can watch and support the team. And we want to see as many of you folks from Aura Fury, or even some of the folks from the internet that are watching us right now, can make sure you stop by once the news comes out for that and see how the team goes. Because I can tell you, they're going to do great. They're going to do awesome, and they're going to do us all proud. And they're already doing us proud right now with just the amount of time and practice and improvement that we're seeing. I love it. I just love it.
I'm sure everybody would appreciate hearing that as well, and I definitely appreciate it too. But we can go back to a little bit more of an open topic in Aura Fury, which is some of the servers that are coming out. And I'll leave that up to you to get into the specifics about the dates, but I would say if you're a fan of a lot of the servers that we put up in the past, I think this is going to be right up your alley, that we're getting into some of these newer games and some of the older games that we like.
So we have so many servers that are coming right now. Aura Fury is definitely going to be setting its record for the most servers on it, and the amount of interest that we're seeing on these servers is also incredible. So first up is going to be our Starbound server that's coming up on September 8th. If you didn't know, last year when we ran Starbound, we had over 60 people on at the same time. And if you know anything about the Starbound community, it's not super active anymore. So we were the world's largest server for quite some time. So it's really exciting to say that, we've run the world's largest servers in Vintage Story, we've run them in Starbound, and believe it or not, we've definitely raced up towards the top for 7 Days to Die in the past. So we've had really good turnouts for our servers. So Starbound's gonna be a really good time. We also have 2 new Vintage Story servers coming. So our Vintage Story community, of course, is huge and it gets a lot of attention. And we have had so many suggestions over the past couple of years. And because we've only run one type of server where we're so worried about game balance and we're so worried about keeping to, true to what vanilla is, we haven't had a lot of opportunities to really do things differently. And our first step away from that, of course, was the creative server. And creative server has been a lot of fun for people to go over on side, test things for Mystic Wins, or actually do really big builds that would just be nearly impossible to do over in survival. It's just too time consuming to do those massive builds on that level. If you didn't know, we just redid the world so that you'd have a chance to try out basically the new generation that's come out in the updates and see all the new runes and all that kind of stuff. So you can actually move all of your old builds from Shimmering Heights over to Shimmering Heights 2. Or if you want to move a build from Mystic Winds to Shimmering Heights 2, we're allowing that this time too, so that you can do whatever you want with your build basically and have some great fun with it. Next up, we have ARC servers that are going to be coming. So a lot of you know that the official ARC servers are going to be going down with basically the release of the new updated ARC that's going to be coming out here pretty soon. Now they have a bit of a history of being behind on releases, so we don't know if it's going to actually come out exactly in time, but it's actually looking really likely that it is this time. So we're looking at a September release, and we're going to have the largest ARC server cluster that we've ever done. As more news comes along with that, of course, I will share it with you. We're doing some testing right now, so I can't say for sure that it's going to end up going that way, but I can say it's going to be some things that Aura Fury's never done before. And it's going to be a really good experiment with that. We're excited to try it out. And last but not least, we have Project Zomboid coming on October the 13th, and it's actually Friday the 13th.
Friday 13th.
So what better time for a zombie game to come out? Now, you probably noticed that we've been talking about eco as well as space engineering. For now, all I can say is that they are coming. We don't have specific dates, but I can't promise you what month it's going to be either. It's probably looking like November, December for those particular games.
That's exciting, especially the Friday the 13th launch for a zombie game in October. The timing's kind of just perfect. I like that a lot, and I definitely am excited, although I'm not really that active in a lot of these games. ARC is the one I feel most tied to because it's one I've actually played, and having an ARC server like that sounds like a lot of fun, and especially playing with all you all in the community gives me more incentive to try it out. And I think the more engagement we get in these servers, the more likely people who are like me are a little shy around these servers that we aren't in games that we don't necessarily play that often. When you see a large enough backing and people that are actively playing, you know that support system's there to give us the help that we need to get back into the game. And I've appreciated everybody that's given me the time in other games that we've played in the community to get me up to speed and make sure I'm having fun as quickly as possible and feel welcome. And I know everybody here, that's a top priority, and I thank everybody for that.
Yeah, big shout out to T. Reed, one of our newer admins too. T. Reed has been going way out of their way to welcome and teach people how to play Vintage Story. I've seen them talking in the official Vintage Story Discord. There's been some people that have been shunned by other communities, and they were welcomed into Aura Fury, and that's what we are really about. So it is so awesome to see those kind of things. So T. Reed, thank you so much for what you've been doing. And thank you so much to our admin team as well for all the work they do to keep our servers running smoothly and to help out with whitelisting and all that kind of stuff. We appreciate everything you do. There are so many different people that make a big difference in Aura Fury, and we wanted to let you know that you are making a difference in other people's lives too. Making people feel welcome, as Justin was just talking about, is such a big deal, as we discovered through the COVID years. So Aura Fury was like the only outlet for some people, so it became such an important area. So always remember to treat everyone that comes in as a fellow human being. Make sure that you're welcoming and making sure that everyone has fun.
Yeah, I also want to take this time, I know we posted in the server already, but this is the first time I think at conventions where we've had the mugs, right? We have a couple up there. I know they're not in frame of the camera, but I know if anybody's interested in just showing off that they're a part of the community, I know I like mine. It's a Yeti mug, so it's going to pretty much last anything. I think if the whole world goes to heck, then this will still make it at least. But I've been enjoying it. I know you all have been enjoying it throughout the convention. It's been really helpful. So shout out to that real quick. If you are interested in kind of supporting the brand, it's we have it up in the server, and you can go check it out. But other than that, I think to go back over to the convention a little bit, it's been a lot of fun for us. It's been great to meet a lot of the people out here, and I encourage everybody who, even if it's not a convention we're at, if you have ever felt nervous about potentially going to a convention or not, if it's something for you, then at least shoot your shot and try it out. I think you meet a lot of really cool people. I think you've mentioned a couple times we wouldn't be where we're at today without making these kind of connections. And even if you're not in it to make business connections, you can make friends here too. I think a lot of people here are looking for that similar outlet as a lot of other people in the gaming sphere, and you can meet a lot of like-minded people that you can either join their servers, like we have advertised at our booth, and people have joined because of that. But even if it's a private individual, just someone walking around with a pass, you can ask them what Discord server they're a part of, or you can just be friends with them directly and you can start playing the same games. I know myself personally, I've talked to a couple people here with no expectation to meet new people to want to play games with, but I forget that there's other people out there that have similar passions to mine. I think this is the kind of ground that you're going to have with a lot of those people are roaming around too, and you can run into them and meet them and make new friends that way. So it's been really nice, and I encourage everybody to do it. And other than that, it's just really nice to have all this engagement with people that didn't know us a couple hours before they walked through the door, and now they're part of the community already and fans of us and have enjoyed demoing Vintage Story, which I want to reiterate, I know it might be a little weird sometimes, but that's not us. We're not the makers of the game, but we are the biggest community for it, which is really nice, and definitely very welcoming as well for it. And then everyone who's enjoyed the game, it's been really nice to hear what they think of the game, and it's always been this is a better version of another game that they play, and everyone's walked away with a smile. And some people, I think the longest we had someone sitting down was almost a full hour playing the game, which is like great because you just get to chat with them the whole time and pick their brain about what got them here and what they do and their goals and stuff like that, while they have a great time just enjoying the game.
A big shout out to Ashantin and Ramgirl for doing such a great presentation on Friday. People are still talking about it today, even though we're on the last day. So they did such an awesome job of showing off the game and demoing so many of the different aspects. I actually had some of the other game developers here come up and talk to me and say they bought the game. They actually went out and bought the game, and we've had other members say that they bought the game here too. So it was a big deal for Vintage Story. It's led to some direct sales already, and that's probably just going to be something that they see over the next few weeks of a little bit of a boost of sales, because we've been handing out cards for Vintage Story too, telling them where they can buy the game. And whether you knew it or not, Tyron and the team from Menego Studios actually supported us for this event. So they actually donated some money to us to help us with our booth, and our booth is awesome. Make sure you take a look up at the pictures after the announcements. We look like a big professional group out here.
You got a lot of compliments for it, yeah.
Yep, we've received so many compliments for our booth, and it's just so cool. It's such a big difference from the last expo we're at, where we only had one small little booth, one table. We had 2 TVs, and we had things spread out on the table that I printed out from my own printer to keep the costs down. But we had some other support too that came in to help us pay to get here. Sergeant Davis has donated twice now to help us with conventions, and not small sums either. We really appreciate your support. Ashantin also donated some money this time to help us with our booth, and then of course
donating the time too, yeah.
Yep. And then Ramgirl and myself also pitched in some money this time to help it. And the Galveston Esports Summit, another big thank you to them, because they did so much for us this time. They gave us a second booth for free.
That's why it looks like we have all this space, because we do.
Yeah, we didn't get charged for it. We got 50% off the normal booth fee too. And then we got access to internet. Internet is normally $900 at this convention by itself, and we were given access to that. So the support that we have received at this convention is just so amazing, and we're looking forward to continue to work with them.
Yeah, I think especially to harp on that point of having the extra space, I think this wouldn't be feasible, you and me talking and having this podcast space, because we'd be taking up the whole booth, and that would get in the way of a lot of what we're trying to do. But because we have half the booth dedicated right now to advertisements in front of us behind the camera you all can't see, and then us behind it, we can still have Vintage Story being demoed. We can still have space for us to walk around in the back and still be able to advertise successfully. And I think because of that, it makes a lot of headaches that come from the smaller booths alleviated, which has been really nice. It's a small house back here. I mean, we're here all day. We're enjoying ourselves. I've never felt cramped. I've never felt like if I'm back here, I'm bumping elbows with everybody and I can't get my own room. It's good. So, yeah, again, they're doing great. The convention's great. I've experienced a lot of things that I haven't before here. So, again, shout out to anybody who is teeter-tottering on that idea of wanting to go to convention, I definitely highly recommend it. Even if you've been to them before, there's always a reason to go and try out a new one. And I will have to post some pictures of it too. Our guest Johnny talked about it, but this convention center is right on the beach, guys. It's like super cool that you can just kind of drive up to the beach and have that good vibes already going into the convention center, and then when you leave, you get to see the sun setting over the beach and all the people out there having a great time. It's been really easy going and a great vibe to the whole event.
So Justin mentioned it a little bit earlier that the first time that it was actually Romgirl and we came to this convention when it was its first one. It was back when COVID was still going, and I'd actually gone up to Johnny and told him about Aura Fury and what we were, a gaming community back then, but we were looking into the idea of becoming a nonprofit and really doing so much more. And we were just starting to enter our faster growth phase of Aura Fury as well. And Johnny ended up getting us in contact with Patrick of the Texas Scholastic Esports Federation. And Patrick talked with me after the convention, during the convention, and kind of was a great guide into helping us get to 501c3, which has allowed us way more resources at this point. And I can already tell you, I'm sure there were some of you that were nervous when we told you that the 501c3 was going to cost us like $1,000 by itself to get to.
Right.
Even us, we were like, oh my God, this is going to eat so much of our budget. When we decided to go, we were nervous, and then there's a chance that it wouldn't have gotten approved too. But luckily we had the example, basically application from the Texas Scholastic Esports Federation, so I was able to look at that, see exactly how they did it, and reword it basically into how it works for Aura Fury, and that's how we ended up getting our 501c3 so much faster than a lot of other organizations too. We didn't have anything denied, we didn't have anything issues, it was smooth sailing and went straight for. So really cool that we got that help. Really appreciate Patrick. And Patrick has already told us that he's going to be willing to be on a future podcast for us. So you all get to meet him.
He's a great guy. I think also that example there is really nice because having examples of whether it be 501c3 status or just anything in your life of having, a cold example that you find off the internet, maybe just an image of it, but having Patrick there to kind of that if something gets confusing or if something, you need advice on it, there's a human behind it who's willing to help you. And I think that gives a lot of people the confidence when you have that type of person backing you and have that support system. So like we mentioned before, it's just a great community of people here, and Patrick and Johnny especially have just been doing a really good job to have our backs and to give us the help where we need, whether it be hooking up the internet the day we need it, or if it's just, giving us a schedule of what we need to do. And it's just been a great time. Everyone here is really supportive, and like you said, having Patrick on a future podcast will be really nice because I would say he's going to have a lot of answers to a lot of questions that people might have out there in the community. Even if they don't know that they have these questions, he's going to enlighten you on it. And a lot of things I didn't know I needed help with, and a lot of things I didn't think could happen in the scope of what we do, he's talked about on a lot of the panels, and just on accident he's helped me out a lot. So I think it's a really good resource to have.
I don't know if you noticed the schedule that was put up in the announcements, but Aura Fury is actually involved in 4 of the panels, plus we had the presentation on Friday. So 5 different events that Aura Fury was actually part of. So we've been very busy here. And they have had a professional recorders that have recorded the videos. We're supposed to be getting copies of the panels as well as Romgirls and Shantan's presentation so that all of you can see it.
Yeah, well, I'll worry about that. Don't you worry. You can keep going. But yeah, I think that's all going to be really cool. When we get those videos up, you all will be the first to benefit from it. We'll post it in the community and stuff like that. And I think the amount of panels we've been on is definitely a lot, but I think it hasn't felt encumbering. Everything's been really giving us the platform to talk about what we want to, which is really nice, because I think otherwise, of course, people come to the booth and talk to us, but when you're up on the stage and the whole center can hear you, you see a lot more people looking back at you that weren't necessarily people that came up to the booth, which has been really cool. As well as just shout out to Plexus, who Zoom called in after a long day of work and still had the energy to talk about the VR experience that was at the panel. And although he's having the technical difficulty side of having to zoom in and the struggles of not being able to see what you look like and the space that you're in and just see a blank empty call, he still did a great job. And again, if we get that footage, or when we get that footage rather, we'll we'll pass that over to everyone in the community, and if they have any questions they need answered on the VR experience, you might use that as a resource. And even if it's not you as a resource privately, if you're in school and you need some sort of example about how VR can benefit maybe the classroom, like something we've talked about before, that might be something you want to link in your presentation if you're presenting it to either if you're a member of the school to like a board member, or if you're a student in a project. I think a lot of the resources that we're building here are going to be transferable to later references for articles or just presentations, projects, what have you. So this has been a good experience. I think it's been really beneficial for everybody involved.
Yeah, we definitely had some talented folks that were on the panels with us too that had some great insight. So like the last panel that we did was keeping esports teams on track, and you had somebody from the background that's dealt with esports teams from an educational standpoint, as well as just being outside of it, like Justin has. And then you have me at the collegiate level, you had Patrick at the high school, middle school level, and then we actually had an individual that was from an esports team themselves that's running as a separate organization, and you got to hear their opinions on it too. So
Yeah.
Very cool to hear all those different opinions.
Yeah, that last guy for Headshot Posse, Mike, he was a really nice resource to have, because it's a lot of people like us who are focused on like the scholastic involvement in sports, and he set a really good example in his presentation, which was just like he was a group of guys that enjoyed the game and then they turned it into something more. And I think that brings it back to a lot of why I think a lot of us got into the gaming space. It's just a group of friends wanting to do more with it, and whether that be an esports team, or whether that be hosting a server and interacting with the community, or whether that just be having a game night every Wednesday like we do. It can all manifest into something that you're really proud of and that you're excited to be a part of. So I think that was a really good example of a lot of us that are more centered into one idea. He was able to broaden the scope of what we were talking about really well, and kind of open up to maybe more of the crowd, because I don't know if a lot of the crowd here is, in college or high school or middle school right now engaging in that, and are probably more aligning themselves with just a bunch of people that are willing to game on weekends, weekdays, and start there. So it was really exciting to have him up there and everybody.
So a little bit of a segue, but we're actually starting to look more into D&D and tabletop again. We had an individual come forward and say, hey, I want to DM a new campaign, and I was like, that is awesome. I want to hear that. And a good shout out to the other campaign that's going. They've been going for well over a year now. And then now we've got Slap a Cookie that's going to be doing a campaign. So I wish them the best of luck and hope that they have a successful long campaign too. We're hoping to get some other campaigns going. There's some interest going, and if anyone wants to be a DM, or if you're interested, make sure you go down into our tabletop and D&D channels and just say that you're interested, or shoot us a DM so we know what you're looking for and we can hook you up with those campaigns. I'd love to see it where Aura Fury's got 10, 12 campaigns going, and I'd also love to see board games through Tabletop Simulator and stuff start taking off, like Talisman and things like that. So really hoping to see that tabletop scene come along, and I'm excited to see the growth that we've already got.
Yeah, I can shed a little bit more light into something that we're building in the community right now. This is a relatively recent thing that we've been talking about this weekend, but we have a DM who's willing to start a weekly or bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, session of Dungeon World. It's a fun tabletop game that's similar to D&D. If you have a background in tabletop RPGs, maybe you've heard of it. If not, if you like D&D but maybe you're looking for something a little different, or maybe just something to do on Tuesdays, this could be right up your alley. We don't have a time set for it, so this is your opportunity to DM either me or Econ works, and we can share the information, or just bring it down into the channels, and we can coordinate a Tuesday night that works for as many people as possible. Again, we're looking for 5 players, a DM who's already willing to do it for Dungeon World, or there's a couple other homebrews of that same system, like Apocalypse World, they're also open to running for the people. And all we need is a time that works for both, a large group of people, so 5 or maybe less, and the DM, and it'll just be on Tuesday nights, and we can get that going for you. So just message me or message anybody up in the staff, and we'll get you connected with the right people. We can get that going as fast as possible. Same thing with the not only other tabletop games, but board games in general. I know myself, I'm interested in starting playing board games with more of the community. I have a couple of friends in the indie community for that want me to test their games with other people, and I can do that with you. Or if you have games you want to bring me, and we can share and play those games either on the Wednesday night games. If anybody messages me, I host those, and I'll get the game you want playing on Wednesday nights, and at minimum I'll play with you, but I'll try to garner some attention and get other people with similar interests to play with us, and we can just chill out, play the game for as long as you want. If you want to play a full session of a game, cool. If you just want to play it for an hour, we can do that too, and we can get it going. But this also goes out to people who have other games they're interested in, like BattleBit we've been trying out, Deep Rock is in the works. Just any game that you have an interest in that you want. Maybe you don't have the network of people in the community that are willing to play that game with you, whether you play Vintage Story or Minecraft, and then you want to play an FPS game, so your friends that you're normally interacting with aren't that interested. Come to me, come to any of the admins, and we'll hook you up with the right people. We can get it going either on a Wednesday night or on any night that works best for you. We can try to get the people that are most interested involved. So again, just stay vocal, and we'll be able to meet the needs of the people.
Yep, that goes for any kind of project that you want to try to do too. So if there's some things that you are interested in doing, or there are resources that you think you need to be successful in playing games, or if you're looking for careers and stuff in there, we're starting to build a lot of those resources up. And if anyone wants to volunteer too to help these individuals out, we're always looking for volunteers to come out and help. So please, it's on the website. If you ever have an interest in being in volunteering, you can go right to the donate section of the website, and there'll be a thing where you can submit an application for volunteering. There's another big announcement that we have in our community. We are now part of Benevity. So if you work for a company like Google, or you work for like Facebook or any of those companies, and you're part of Benevity, you can actually donate to Aura Fury, and then your company will match that donation too. Because we are on there, we have our profile. You can actually pick which project specifically too that you want to support in Aura Fury. There's about 5 or 6 of them up right there, and you can actually have the money earmarked to that. Another thing you can do is the Benefity volunteer projects. So you can come to us and say, hey, I want to volunteer with my company for Aura Fury. We can organize something that you're interested in. It could be a game night. It could actually be a thing where you help out with one of our college game clubs. Lots of different opportunities out there, and we're obviously up for the ideas. And if you do that and you organize that project through Benefity and your company, then your company also donates an X amount of dollars per hours that you volunteer. And you can literally tell us exactly how many hours you want to do, and we can work with you to do that. Another thing now is that you can donate through Facebook and Instagram. And you can run your own little fundraiser for your birthday or something for Aura Fury, or you can actually just click the donate button right up top on our Facebook, and they cover all of the transaction fees. That is the only organization that covers all the transaction fees for us. Coming in November, they'll be running a big event too, where they will do donation matching. So when that comes up, I'll be bothering you all again to let you know that is coming. So that's a huge opportunity.
That's a great opportunity. That's really exciting.
And the last big change, we now have Stripe. So you can use Apple Pay, Google Pay. There's quite a few different European banks, Canadian banks, things like that. It's a lot easier to use than PayPal for some people, or Venmo. So now you have PayPal, Venmo, and Stripe. And all of those organizations discount their transaction fees for us. So really awesome that those companies have done that for us.
I like that a lot. That's good news. I think it's really exciting when you get the donation side of this kind of thing. And donating is it's just fun. I like doing it. I like supporting communities like that. And if you have any communities that you want to donate to that you're interested in, or like organizations, I definitely am excited to hear more about them, and maybe we can get talking with them about how to help them and how to help your favorite charities and stuff like that. So.
And we may actually be teaming up with the Houston Gamers. We met them at the Houston Gaming Expo, and they run a big event where they end up buying like Switches and gaming consoles for children that are in hospital that can't afford those kind of things. Gives them something to do and have fun while they're recovering in the hospital. A lot of them are going to be there for a long time, so it makes a huge difference in their life. So they approached us on that, and we're hoping to organize something like that. There's a chance that we may end up organizing the watch-a-thon all around that, so that we get the streamers. So that could be a really fun and big event to support kids in the hospital.
Awesome. Well, I think we've talked to nauseam about the convention. Is there any other news in the server that you think is worth mentioning?
Other than that, make sure you watch out for the game nights for Overwatch and BattleBit. It's a good time to come down and play, and we're hoping to expand into a few other things, start playing Phasmophobia more regularly.
Yeah,
if you've
that'll be
noticed,
fun.
there has been some people that have been playing Phas, and those folks are glad to have more people join in. So if you see them in the voice chat, just join in and say, hey, can I join in? Or you can ping them in the chat like we did. We were just like, hey, you want some extras? And then Romgirl and I went down there and played with them. Demonologist is another one that's really starting to pick up a bit more with more people playing. So hoping to see more of that come around.
Halo, I think, as well.
Oh yes, Halo. Romgirl and I have been playing Halo a lot. Justin's stuck coming on with us.
We got a couple
now.
people hop on at this point, yeah. It's been really fun.
It's getting fun. Plexus too.
Yeah.
And then Bad at Math.
Artorias.
Oh, Artorias.
Yeah.
Artorias. Okay.
So a lot of people that, aren't necessarily as active in the community anymore have come back for games that we're bringing back up, and I think the same could be said for a lot of other people. So if you have more ideas about games we can play, shoot them our way, we'll get them going, and people that, are interested in those games can hop in when they see those voice chats full, like you're saying with Phasmophobia, or in our case Halo. It was, nice to just have people pop in and reignite the passion of, when we had more people playing those games, or if it's never happened before, then get the excitement rolling. So.
All right, thank you so much all for tuning in. We appreciate you stopping by with us. I hope you enjoyed the chat, learning about the convention, as well as a whole bunch of things that are coming with Aura Fury. Lots of exciting things to come, as always. So stay tuned. Also, more podcast episodes coming. So we're going to be coming back up. We're going to be getting some great recording software to make it easier for our guests and such, and then we'll have some better audio and stuff coming in. And yep, our booth was awesome. It really was awesome. We're proud of it.
All right. Well, I mean, that's all I have. It's been us. It's been Juco and Econ. So hope everybody had a good podcast. And if you have any questions, feel free to message us, and we'll get back to you. And hope you all enjoyed.
Have a great one, everyone.
Thank you.